welcome to the ESL Southeast European Championship.
Gotta be honest though, I mean at this point it is a chance for Sinners to get...
How has he been able to just shift through like that? He's not going to He will, maybe another ace on the...
Oh man!
4 kills, 1 player left, and he the ace.
Here comes the Bane with a double kill, and here comes the follow-up, and Jack is waiting to follow up there, and we see the triple kill come out and taking down Poppy, and they are continuing to push this one. You are going to want to get out of there, you don't want to be doubting that one, but there comes the Quadra. Are we going to see the Penta?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ESL Season 7 of the Southeast Europe Championship. I'm Jojo Tablik-Paras, and I'm here with Costa Rimusharopoulos. You're going to see us very, very shortly because we have just gone into picks and bans phase of our first game of the day between the Teutons and Wild.
Do you want to start about the picks and bans, or should you talk a little bit about the teams?
We could talk about the teams after the picks and bans as well. We do have the time, so let's focus on that one first. We do see stuff that we usually see banned, such as the Ezreal, the Rakan, the Aurelia, and here comes the Shen as well. Wild does not want the Teutons to have that global presence with the Shen ultimate, and here goes the Mundo as well. So 2 tanky top laners out of the book.
They probably have a strategy into the back of their heads. So I'm pretty interested to see what they are going to pick into their first big phase after the ban of Zoe from the side of Teutons, of course. Kai'Sa.
I was about to say it makes complete sense to go for the Kai'Sa first pick. The Rakan is banned. You could also go for the Skarner first pick. The Graves, he's been 100% picked or banned in our whole tournament so far. So I would expect to see him in the game. Sometimes you first pick, sometimes you don't. Wild just do prioritize their ADC in this case, and they first pick the Kai'Sa. So let's see what Teutons will decide to reply with. And
okay, it's a forgiven special.
It's a forgiven special. It would either be that or the Gatling, which are both kind of like a nightmare for Kai'Sa in the lane. They do beat her in range, and of course Varus has a lot of poke that kills Kai'Sa in that matter. And exactly that, what I was expecting to see, the Varus and the Graves.
That's a really, really strong first big phase for the side of Teutons. And I want to see what Wild have as an answer here. Of course, Braum, now they need protection, especially in the bot lane, and Ornn.
It makes so much sense. We've said it over and over again. Ornn is one of these blind picks in the top lane. He's an S tier top laner. The only thing that counters him so far is that Braum. But if you are able to either ban the Braum out and pick the Ornn or pick them together, and in this case, have a look. The Teutons have basically 2 ADCs in the papers, and Braum has Unbreakable. He can stop projectiles, there's the Varus ult, there's the Morgana bind. It is a by-the-book great choice against everything that the Teutons have picked so far. And we see more top lane-oriented bans from the side of Wild. They want every tank in the game that's viable right now out.
They try to choke the champion pool of the top laner of Teutons for now, because Teutons have shown their bot lane and the jungler, so we are missing right now the mid laner and the top laner. We know that the top laner will be against Ornn, so they just choking and limiting down the options for the Teutons top laner, and it's good strategy.
We could also see again the Saints being played in the top lane. It does work against Ornn. It stops his push, especially when you're freezing and the Saints can proxy. Here comes the rise of the Teutons. It's a very safe pick in the mid lane.
A comment, if I may. I think if Freezy is in the top lane for the side of Teutons into this game, into this best of 3, he's not a fan of Singed. He plays a lot of other stuff.
Could we see a legendary Renekton from Freezy?
Yes, including Ornn, for example, but I think he's not a fan of Singed, and I'm expecting something like maybe a tank pick, or maybe a pick that can do damage, that can deliver damage, especially in the top lane, try to split push a little bit more, and that's why they took Trundle, a clever choice once more. The tank disabler. So if you pick a tank into the top lane, we have Trundle.
Yeah, it disables the last pick as a tank for Freezy in the top lane. But on the other hand, it feels like a Skarner could be more viable in this comp. Flashing, grab someone, bring him to your team. They're never going to escape. Whilst right now, Wild have put themselves behind in the jungle. And look how aggressive their lanes are. They have a Varus Morgana, a Ryze in the mid lane, Camille in the top. That's very aggressive. But of course, we're going to go on a very, very quick break. And we're going to analyze everything about the picks and bans phase in just a bit. So stay tuned.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
And We Love Gaming pushes and saying that they have got the gangplank though, but no, Skarner chooses to get the Kazakhs instead, and he is going to be going down. The Ornn cannot join the fight. Remember, he doesn't have. 2 members of We Love Gaming are going to pay for this. It's going to be 3 and double kill. And as I was talking about that gangplank being far ahead, the Shen is right there. Rift has to be careful.
Zion is in the top lane.
Zion is in the top lane. Again, he does have that teleport that he needs. And here comes the Ryze ultimate. He's trying to get a kick onto the Varus, but he gets Chain of Corruption in the face instead. Now they have got the Kai'Sa and shut down. Morgana's gonna go down as well. Nobody is taking care of that Varus. And another tower going down for the side of Level Up Rhinos. 2 and 0. Almost 6k, not almost 6k ahead for them. Braum is gonna pop the ultimate, and the Morgana literally dives into the backline with her ultimate. A slip going to land onto the Graves, and he just disappears. The Braum is going to be the one next, and then Lucian is trying to do as much damage as possible, but not going to be enough. The Morgana is going to survive, and the Zinza, no! He's gonna go down, flash away from the Ornn, who's gonna slowly but surely be going down. Triple kill for the mid laner of Level Up Rhinos, and they are going for the last inhibitor tower. That's still standing. That could be a very dangerous move. The stun from is going to land right there. Braum, knock up, and they disappear. Same as the Graves. Beautiful stuff right there from the side of We Love Gaming. 3 members members of Red start going down. The Sun is going to land onto that Kama as well. Q is going to completely miss. Killing spree, triple kill for the mid laner of Wheel of Gaming right then. I think this is pretty much, but is he gonna be going down? No, the heal from Jana actually is the thing that's gonna be saving him. And they are stopping Rakan down there. The Ornn has popped the Ultra trying to stop the Rakan, but look at that gunner from the side. He just tries to get close to Reef, but he can't because there's so much damage coming out from Reef. And look at that backline of Reef. They are so low. He's flashing in, but he's going to die straight away. And all of Reef are on 5 HP. They are going to manage to get that Jana down. But
here comes Ornn.
Like it's gonna go down. Lilau is gonna go down.
Quadra kill
for the ADC of Reef. They are chasing. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ESL Season 7 of the Southeast Europe Championship. I'm Troublelink and I'm here with Ryuma to break down a little bit the picks and bans phase that we just saw. Of course, we do have the insta-log first pick Kai'Sa for the side of Wild. Then Tutors reply with double ADC comp. Graves in the jungle, Varus in the bot lane. Varus does give the advantage to Tutors in the bot lane against the Kai'Sa, but then rounding this up with the Braum for the side of Wild, I will give the aggression to the side of Wild. But on the other hand, you do have the Black Shield that if chained correctly, you can get away from that fourth auto attack that procs the passive of Braum. But what I really wanted to talk about with you is the fact that Wild do see the Graves and they choose to go with a Trundle in the jungle, which instantly puts his jungle behind. But one, like you said, stop the Teutons from picking another tank. So Wild bans 3 of them. They ban the Gangplank, and they're like, we're going to pick the Trundle just in case your top lane is a tank. And from the other side of the Teutons say, okay, you want to go with the Trundle, you're going to be behind in the jungle, we're going to pick strong lanes that you can't gank because our Graves is more dangerous.
I'm not sure which composition is the strongest into this meta, but if I had to choose, maybe I should go with Wild side because it's more team fight oriented composition with 2 clear tanks as a front line. There is a supportive tank, that's Braum, and you have a clear APC and a clear ADC. On the other side, you have multiple threats in the side of Teutons because of Morgana Bind, the Rune Prison from the Rise, a great entrance, as we say, from Camille, for example, with long range stun, followed by the Chain of Corruption and the burst down from Graves. It's a multiple threat composition with a taste of CC. Now, if we maybe go into team fighting into the mid game, Wild won't be that strong because of the scaling that tank needs. On the other side, Teutons have a lot of power spikes, especially with the Rage Blade into Varus, the first or 2 completed items to Graves, the Rise that coming up with a bit of tankiness. So I think that we have a lot of options, especially in the early game, and Teutons need to focus on the early game, take advantages in the lanes in order to snowball going into the mid game. Because if the composition of Wild scales up, then it's really difficult to penetrate through those 2.5, as we say, tanks.
That will definitely be the case. I do agree with you very much. But let's also not forget the fact that the Teutons have a very squishy team in every single lane, and Wild do have the potential to pick some of them completely apart. If you can see, you've got the Shockwave there, you've got the Pillar, you have the Horn, then you've got the Brom ultimate. They do have potential into catching somebody if they overstep, since everyone is a squishy as well. But other than that, I feel like either Wild will have to be reactive to the Teutons' engage potential with the Chain of Corruption, the Bind, everything you just said, Hextech Ultimatum. They have so many ways of engaging into Wild. But while I say that, 3 men of Wild are going into the TTs, jungle right there. Camille might have to flash away to save herself. This is going to be the case. And we have the first summoner of the game, 1 minute and 36 seconds in the game.
But that where Trundle is going to go? Where Trundle will start now?
Trundle will most likely have to start blue, and he is going to be slower. That gives Graves the advantage, because he does have the advantage into this matchup. But you also have a Camille that is flashless in the top lane, and you could do your blue buff and instantly take the Scuttle Crab and go top lane.
And maybe try to snowball this lane a little bit, but you need the red buff in order to gank the Camille. The applied slow is
check this out.
An effective way.
The Graves already knows what the Trundle wants to do, and he has already engaged him into his jungle. He's towards the blue buff. He might have to flash away. The Graves has red buff. He has to flash away now and pop the plant to get away. One more shot will do it. The Graves has already flashed right there, so he doesn't have another way of getting close to the Trundle. And the Trundle
nice invade, though.
Very nicely played right there from the Graves. I think it was pretty obvious that the Trundle would have to go for the Scuttle Crab and then head towards top lane. And Graves' top laner has no flash, so you really have to play towards that very early. You do have the advantage versus the Trundle, and we clearly see it right there. Double summoners popped right there from the side of Teutons, but again, they're securing a lot of map pressure from really early into the game.
And especially with Trundle that low after the invade from Graves, Trundle had to go back to base and lost even more time trying to maybe be farming or trying to gang a lane. So look at the CS difference. 12 CS for Graves, 4 CS for Trundle. Now if Graves keeps pushing and invading towards Trundle and his laner still pushing, such as bot lane does, now he will have the protection to do so, and maybe Trundle will have a really hard time trying to scale.
As you can see, every single lane from the Teutons is pushing. That's exactly why I said at the start, I don't understand why the pick of Trundle. They've already put themselves behind with, right here, the Graves wants a little bit more from the Orianna. The Orianna that's running Cleanse right now. No other defensive summoner to be able to heal or Barrier. So it's a little bit dangerous when you're playing right there with the Graves. The Trundle is hanging on to the side. First TP for the Rise as well.
Earning some time for the Rise.
Starts stacking up, but look at that. The Orianna is really low on mana and health, and sticking around against the Rise. That is full health and full mana. That health has changed though, and has to flash away from the pillar to keep himself alive. 3 summoners from the Teutons are down. 4 mains into the game. Good work for the side of Wild to be able to punish the mistakes. I think the Teutons are overestimating the power that Wild has as well into the mid game, and they definitely shouldn't here.
Now Rise has to really be careful because has no teleport and has no flash, and if he dies into the lane, maybe from a gank or a solo kill from the Orianna, which is really difficult of course, he will fall way behind, especially stacking the tier. That's the most important thing now into this meta, and especially into this champion. You
do see the power of that bot lane as well. We have seen
power
a lot
especially.
of teams, especially in, like the other days we were casting, we did see people first picking the Kai'Sa, and then if the enemy has not picked an ADC yet, we get the Varus band out, we get the Kog'Maw band out, we get champions that do counter her in lane, and right now the Varus was obviously open and very wise choice from the Teutons as well in the hands of Forgiven to pick the Varus and punish the Wild for picking Kai'Sa early in the game. Of course, both of these ADCs have insane late game powers, but that of course depends on the performance of the player at this point as well.
A slow-paced game so far, except from the invades we have seen, especially into last week's games, a lot of moving, especially in the first minutes of the game, a lot of early game invades that costed to one team or another. So I think that both Wild and TT are a little bit more careful than usual, trying to scale up going into those skirmishes or those team fights that they need to get the advantage into the mid game.
I feel like a late game 1v1, and as I said that, remember the Ryze has no flash. Shockwave going to land on him, he getting slowed down, and first blood for the Trundle that he has to run away right now because the Graves is very healthy and he's chasing them. Still level 5, the Graves full for the Trundle. Nevertheless, it is going to be a first blood. Beautiful stuff right there for the side of Wild. Remember that the Ryze has no TP to get back into his lane, but look at the Camille. She has already made her way into the mid lane, and there is no flash onto that Orianna that is most likely gonna be going down. 1-0 for the Camille into the top lane. Great stuff right there to reply straight away from the Teutons as well.
Nice moves by Freezy, roaming down into the mid lane, knowing that Orianna is flashless, and she will try to push the lane after Ryze died, punish the position of the Wild mid laner, such as Trundle did with the position of the TT mid laner a few seconds ago.
I just wanted to say before all of this broke out, I do feel like Wild does have an advantage if this goes towards the late game. They have the Ornn, they will have the knock-up, it will land on someone 100%. Like, you can't black shield everybody for the knock-up of the Ornn, and then you will get the Trundle in there.
Ornn is going down.
Graves has caught the Trundle though, and he's still level 5, level 6 onto the Graves, and this could be a kill. It definitely is going to be a kill for the jungler of the Teutons, soloing the Trundle into his jungle, and that's exactly what we noted, from the start, that you counterpick yourself. So when you counterpick yourself in the jungle, you at least need to have super strong solo laners. And talking about solo laners, Ryze is making his way in the top lane, while the bot lane has already killed the Kai'Sa, and Ornn is no longer in life either. Action all over the map for the Teutons, and I would say that Braum is sitting right there, but it is very dangerous for him as well.
Of course it's very dangerous for him, but they will need to reset now. They have a lot of gold into their hands. I was about to say that you see an Ornn pushed down the turret, you know that the Graves is in the enemy jungle just solo killing the jungler. As an Ornn, you back instantly away from your turret. You're not safe under your turret because Ryze will roam, as he did, even secured the blue buff that Graves offered him, the enemy blue buff, and then a textbook 3-man dive into the top lane. Nice stuff by TT. Nice macro.
Probably a little bit of a miscommunication there from the side of Wild. I will definitely agree with you. The second that you see your jungler is taking a beating into his own jungle, you usually back off of your tower. It's really not worth it to give a second kill as well after your jungler has died. And Teutons are playing to their powers. They do have the early game, they do have the mid game as well, and potentially have the late game too, depending on how they're gonna play it. I will give the late game as well. Again to Wild, because the subjugate is going to be a key factor. None of the Teutons members do have a lot of defenses, and even if these defenses fall a little bit more, it's going to be amazing right there. We do see a root going down on the Orianna. Will they be able to catch her? There's still no ulti for the Graves. There's an ultimate now, but the Braum has dived in front of the Orianna to save her. Here comes the Braum and trying to get a stun onto the Graves. It's not going to land. He is going to be able to get away.
That was a 3v2.
this is going to be the fight for the mid lane, but they do get the flash off of the Graves.
You see the true power, that was a 3v2. And they are healthy enough, maybe try to do something. Because they forced a little some things from the other side, such as the ultimate.
Look at that 4-man, make it a 5-man. No, it is the right TP, and it's a 4-man down there for the Teutons. The Rumble has been the front line. Gun is going to be going down also. It is a 2-for-1 in favor of Teutons at Inter Tower, and that's definitely a winning trade for the Teutons so far.
Again, a textbook gang from the side of TT. They uses the ultimate from the Rise to secure the first turret in the bot lane and to secure the kill, especially into this kinda overstaying duo bot lane. They lost Morgana, of course, but it's a worth trade after all.
Let's see what the Teutons are going to choose to.
I see Varus going into the bot lane.
Well, they are winning the game so far, and there is an Infernal Dragon in the bot lane, so with having such a huge winning bot lane, you can further deny the Kai'Sa the farm. He is already 20 CS ahead, so not only you can re-engage them without a tower, you can definitely stop the Kai'Sa from farming further, I'm sorry. And there's an Infernal Dragon down in the bot lane, no TPs on their ADCs. I'm so happy to see that happening, actually. And of course, you do have the advantage with the winning bot lane down there to take that dragon. There is a TP onto the Camille, whether she chooses to join them or not, or an ultimate is going to be joining them. It's not going to knock up the Graves. Beautiful Black Shield right there, but he is forced to get out of there. The Kai'Sa's gonna dive in the backline though and kill the Graves. Some beautiful stuff coming out of Wild right now. They have gotten the dragon as well. Kai'Sa is having a dance in the backline, but it's going to be a 2-for-3 because don't forget the Varus that's auto-attacking his life out. 3 kills for the ADC of the Teutons out of nowhere.
That's huge. That's really huge, especially knowing what Forgiven can do with the Varus, a fed Varus into his hands. And now I'm pretty excited to see how TT will try to force their advantage. Maybe they need to try to snowball over objectives because they lost the dragon there. They kinda lost the dragon because of Graves. Not his mistake, of course. That team fight was a little bit messy. Nice moves by Kai'Sa as a enemy jungler.
Freezy was way too late with teleport. The dragon had already been started. You could see that Wild was dedicated into getting this dragon, so get your Camille down. He's really strong. He has the Sheen already. Get your Camille down. Your Graves is already way too strong. You saw the ability of Varus putting into so much damage down there without even having Rage Play completed. I feel like that was... Teutons could have definitely cleared up this fight much easier than they already did, and coming out with a very valuable dragon, since they do have the upper hand right here. Nevertheless, that's a 5k lead. They still have 13 minutes into the game, and I think they do have a little bit of room for mistakes, but more mistakes in the future could cause Wild getting ahead, as they do have the more late game composition. You did see the Kai'Sa jumping into the backline and finishing off the Graves, and she was... If she was gonna die, she was gonna be the last one to die, flashed away at the last second to get away from the Camille, but then again, she was not touched up to this point.
And now Morgana maybe is in trouble, but
she had to pop the ultimate right there to get away from the side of Wild. And here comes the Ornn ultimate, and Graves might be in trouble. He's gonna get up, and Orianna might be dispatching of him. It is going to be indeed a kill for the mid laner of Wild, and now Ryze is in trouble. He does have the ultimate, but remember, the Peeler from Rumble could stop his ultimate, and they have knocked him up and beaten him down, and that is a kill for the Kai'Sa, much needed for the side of Wild. Another bit of a mistake. It's exactly what I talked about basically a second ago. You're allowed to make a mistake if you're 13 minutes into the game and you're 5k ahead, but a mistake on top of a mistake, that's where it gets a little bit grim, starting to give advantages when you're ahead.
And now Wild can secure the Risk Herald. And it's a really useful tool. if you need to siege, because they do not have the range so far to siege. They just have the Orianna. Kai'Sa has not that much of a range. I will stop right here because Camille is almost. And now Camille is in trouble, maybe. But the whole team has arrived. You see mistakes from both these teams. But Teutons are...
At least they left the tower in time this time and they didn't give up any kill. Ooh, Shockwave is just going to miss just for a tiny bit. You still see though the Orianna with no death cap, no nothing, just starting to stack the Archangel. See, there's so much damage to the Graves, and again, you only have one Black Shield. What are you gonna use it for?
And Teutons really did their best there, securing that Wild cannot pick up that Rift Herald, and the Rift Herald is gone. So even though Trundle secures it, they were never able to pick it up in order to have it in the inventory. So it's a win-win.
I think even like that, Wild prefers to have it and never take it than give it away to the Teutons and then give them another way of sieging. I mean, I know it's sad for them that they didn't get to take the Rift Herald from the spot, but then again, I think they would trade it any day for the Teutons not having it.
Mm-hmm. Now Wild need to turtle. They need to farm up in order to have a big 5v5 team fight. And especially lock down the Varus, because Varus is really strong. He's 303. Almost 170 CS, Rage Blade completed, Boots completed, going for the Zeal item. It's a big difference. Especially if you compare the two ADCs. And also Ryze is really big right now. Camille has completed the 354s, has the Tiamat. The wooden boots though, but he will eventually complete the boots.
Look at Trundle, he has spotted two members of the Teutons there, and now he's going to find the Graves. The Ornhorn has been... And look at that beautiful Black Shield right there to stop the Graves from being knocked up, but they have gotten the Trundle, but the Camille is all alone into her own fate. And she's going to be going down to a crucial one, which is Kai'Sa. And the third kill for the ADC of Wild, trading top laner for jungle, that stops any other movement on the map for the side of Wild. And look at that Ryze. He's sitting in the bot lane, pressuring the tower, has it on almost half HP.
Not the best of turret destroyers, but still does a lot of damage into the turret with the auto attacks. Especially, he's really good into pushing lanes under your turret, trying to deny them, and that was a good move. Although Teutons have started and finishing the dragon.
They will manage to grab at the Ocean Drake. Not the worst, not the best, but even like every single dragon counts when the point of the Elder Dragon comes. When the Elder Dragon spawns, you say, okay, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3. Yes, okay. Even one, it counts. Let's take it.
It's gold.
It's gold, and right now talking about gold, 6k gold ahead for the side of the Teutons. Not even 19 minutes into the game. That's a huge gold lead. I just want to see, like, at which point does Wild choose to go all in? Hurricane completed for the Varus. Almost every single player on the side of Teutons has completed or is close to completing the second item. And from the side of Wild, not so much. Although they still have 2 tanks and 2 carries that can put out a lot of damage. Actually 3 tanks, I'm sorry. I'm counting out the Braum for some reason, but the Orianna Shockwave, I just feel like Wild has so much CC that one Black Shield is not going to protect anyone if they chain it properly.
Yes, of course. They need to focus more into Varus, but Graves, as we told in the beginning, right before we jump into the game, Graves is a really big threat, especially in melee range. Ryze is a really big threat if you try to 5v5 and stick together as a 5-man trying to protect your carries. Then Ryze has a lot of damage, especially with minions around you. And of course, Varus is the keystone for damage into the Teutons squad. So you need to maybe lock down the Varus first, try to avoid Graves, but then there is also Camille.
Trouble right here. He's going to focus on to the Orianna. Beautiful dodge off the shockwave right there, but it's not going to be enough. And look at the Baron has started for the Teutons on the other side. There's on the Orianna, or the Trundle Orn has blown the horn right there, and Baron has been stopped momentarily, but the Brom is gonna go down. I think that is such a worth trade, trading your support for a Baron. I think I would take it at any time. I was about to say the fact that Wild
ballsy call though
grouped in the middle and took the tier 1 mid lane tower while Ryze was in the top lane and Camille were in the bot lane, and none of them was able to get any of the 2 towers. And not only did they not take any of the 2 towers, Camille overstays her welcome in the bot lane and gets killed. I think that's a win for the Wild squad right there, and Teutons have to pressure something on the other side of the map while they see 2 members with no teleport of Wild down in the bot lane. So really good move, didn't work out, grabbing the Brom kill. Maybe should try it all over again. Still 6k gold for the side of Teutons.
Yes, because they control the map and they are heading CS in every single lane except the mid lane, because Ryze has to split a little bit more, trying to force waves, to burn waves, as we say, so you do not focus that much into CSing rather than focusing into burning the waves under the turret and do as much damage as you can to the enemy turrets. And now, okay, Graves has the blasting gun.
He wanted to get away from there because he did see the Brom incoming as well, and they might be catching the bot lane of the Teutons, but they are aware of where the rest of the Wild members are. Kai'Sa in the mid lane, always with her support next to her, and there is not much vision for the Orianna to be pressuring that far out. Most of the vision for Wild is towards the bot lane with just 2 pink wards, but on the other hand, there's not much vision for the Teutons either.
Yes, but they control the top lane with Ryze constantly pushing, they control the bot lane
Here they've
with
picked up a fight, they have got the Ryze and they might be able to take him down. He's trying to put as much damage as possible onto the Orianna. He's gonna survive. Wild takes down the Ryze, while the Brom, I think, is going to pay yet again for the bills of Wild right there. And it's a 1-for-1. Trade obviously goes in favor of Wild since their ADC is dead, while Teuton's mid lane carry is dead. I'm not sure. I've seen Brom die way too much. He's overextending when he doesn't have to. Yes, you want to stop the rest of Teutons from joining the fight, but then again, you don't really want to lose your life while doing it. Pop your ultimate from a distance, pop your Q from a distance, but don't get close enough that you can get Chain of Corruption down and die. Trundle is going to pillar onto the Graves again, Ornn ultimate incoming, and it's not going to hit the header right there for the Ornn. It's just going to let them walk away. Might be because their bot lane was coming as well from mid. Not sure why.
Just a miss. Okay, it happens sometimes.
It happens to the best of us.
It can be messed up. It's not that difficult to mess it up. Especially if you try to, as we say, follow the Graves movement in order to knock him up.
It feels like slowly but surely, the Teutons do pull away in gold lead. Right now they're sitting on almost 7k, and it feels like every single advantage they get on the map is towards them moving towards the win. Whilst I think Wild is trying so hard to turtle that yes, they do pick up the fights they can win, but then on the other hand, they're losing something always. Ryze might get caught again. One pillar will do it. Beautiful stuff right there from the Trundle to be able to stop Ryze dead in his tracks. Shockwave is going to land and Ryze is gonna go down. Let's see if the Teutons can grab something in return. The Ornn is coming from the bot lane. There's no ultimate still on the Brom, and they are going to get a mid lane tower for a Ryze. Here comes the Ornn horn. Let's see if Wild wants to take a fight right there. Brom ultimate
Nice
is going to completely miss, and the bind from Morgan is going to land onto the Brom. Let's see if he's going to have to pay again for his team, and they just can't fight the Teuton squad 4v5.
They used the ultimates from the Orianna in order to burst down the Rise, and
I just feel like
that's
that
a really, really useful
overkill.
tool. Yes, an overkill.
There's 4 people onto the Rise. Don't use everything you have. Like, every single ultimate, except the Ornn, because she was bot lane, was used. If you had the Brom ult and you had the Shockwave as well, I know it's a very short cooldown for the Orianna, but still, the Rise was gonna die anyway. Kai'Sa ult was used, everything was on this Rise. He was gonna die anyway without taking anyone with him. Keep your Shockwave and be a little bit more aggressive on the upcoming fight. Push students back instead of giving them the advantage of you not having that Shockwave, so they push you constantly.
Okay, now Varus is a monster. You see the completed Infinity Edge, the Rage Blade. God, that's too much. If Varus is not being locked down, then maybe Wild will be completely scattered. And you see that Freezy is constantly pushing into the bot lane, Ryze is constantly pushing into the top lane, they CS up, they have Forgiven into the mid lane, pushing waves. And it's a really, really good strategy. And now
take the 1v1 with the Camille. Hextech ultimatum is gonna go down, and it's
oh my god, the 1v2? Here comes the teleport.
Wrong, the Trundle is, and he's just in the bot lane, but look at the Rise. He's gonna be joining the Camille, and another overestimation from Wild. The Ornn takes way too much damage before the Trundle gets there. I feel like Wild is the type of team right now that we say looks amazing on paper, but when it comes to the execution, it's lacking some steps. And here comes the Orianna. She's gonna be getting caught. Beautiful 3-man Shockwave, but nobody can follow up to that. And see, he's gonna go down, shut down. If you look on
they are going for the bottom.
Yeah, if you look at
and Camille is going for the inhibitor in the top lane.
There's only 2 members of Wild 3 now up, so it's pretty much a free power for the Titans, especially with the guys in the bot lane without TP on her as well. I feel like every single person lost their lane. If you look in the top lane, the jungle you knew it from the start. The second you pick Trundle, you are doomed pretty much against the Grave, so you know he's gonna get ahead. He's gonna probably have double the CS that you have, but 310 CS on Forgiven versus 243
in 27 minutes though.
Ouch.
That's too much.
He is like the Greek Uzi at this point.
Okay, I'm not gonna comment on this.
I'm commenting just for the CS, okay? Because we always say how, like, where does he find all the CS? Like, does he get it out of his pocket and then he CS's it? Because there's not that much CS on the map, but, you know.
They give a lot of resources to Forgiven. That's why Ryze was at the top lane trying to push. Graves was constantly farming into his own jungle, clearing anything, and then going past the river. Camille in the bot lane. They're using
Ornn ultimate as well. It's going to knock up the Ryze. But I think without the Orianna, you can't really get the Ryze. And look at that flash forward and solo kill 1v2 for the Ryze. But now he has been caught underneath the tower. He's going to be going down. Nevertheless, another good trade for the Teutons. Ryze is keeping 2 people busy in the top lane, kills one of them, keeps the other one busy, while 4 members of the Teutons are hammering down the first inhibitor tower. And the second one, Zen of Corruption, is going to be landing onto that Pro, who's going to pay again for the sake of his team. Flash forward or Forgiven, gonna go down, shut down from the Orianna. Little bit aggressive right there, but I guess when you're that far ahead into the game, you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive than usual. Camille is going to tap forward. Look at all that damage that Freezy is putting down. Hell is raining upon Wild in the form of Freezy, and he is going to be going down in the end. And now the 2 members...
They are having fun.
...are trying to run away. Are they trying to run away, or are they trying to fight? It's shut down for the Ornn as well. And he's going to be a 4-for-2 4 in favor of Wild right there, but I think the boat has already shipped and they are going to be 13k thousand ahead, 2 inhibitors down. And I was talking about the late game of Wild, and I don't think it's gonna be happening anymore. I think we're gonna have to reach a 6-item level situation where Wild plays the team fight to perfection. But I don't see, with the way that Teutons play so aggressive, I don't see they're gonna leave them any opening to do so.
Just take a look at the Camille's items, then the Graves items with a lot of kiting into them, then go to Forgiven, 4 items completed and boots, and then take a look at Rise. 4 threats that can do massive damage to the enemy because they do not have the resist so far in order to fight back and maybe kite the fight and turn it around. Now it's in the hands of Teutons to lose it. It was before, but now it's like 100% into their hands to lose this game. And I pretty much don't see a way right now, especially with Baron into Morgana. That just fell off though. But they need a miracle and they need a perfect ace 5v5 fight in order to stall the game now. Not win it, just stall it.
I think they just need a miracle full stop right here. With the way Teutons have been playing all game, I don't see them any opening. But of course, until the Nexus is down, anything is possible in this game. Exactly. Let's not forget that the Teutons have a very squishy team, but they also have taken 2 inhibitors down from the side of Wild, and Camille is keeping 2 members of Wild busy.
Camille can solo kill almost anyone into the enemy team, except the Orianna.
I think
Camille can handle Ornn.
Now Derek Gates, I think she can kill all of them solo 1v1.
Maybe Orianna can win this 1v1, but maybe.
I don't think it's possible due to the fact that Hextech Ultimatum, with the Hextech Ultimatum you can dodge the shockwave, so let's have a look. You never know. Maybe Orianna steps up, stepping up the whole game. She's the only one that's ahead in CS of her lane, and she's the only one that's been stepping up so far for Wild, and I just want to see the rest of the members of Wild stepping up to the level of the Orianna right now.
They are totally controlling the map, the whole map. They will go for the Drake and then they will wait for the Baron to spawn, to secure it and try to brute force a 5v5 maybe, or try to brute force the base of Wild. You see the resets are coming.
They don't have to, pretty much. 1 minute and 30 seconds for the Baron. Get the Baron. You have 2 inhibitors down. Push the last one. I think.
Or make a pick. Try maybe make Trundle walk up to you.
The Camille can use the Baron buff into the bot lane and force all the minions in there. I think you just have the game made for them pretty much. Still 12k ahead in this game. And you see that already Camille is setting up the bot wave. They have to set the bot wave, the mid wave, straight run to Baron. Ryze has taken care of the second Ocean Drake. 3 Drakes right now for the Teutons. All they have to do is focus the Baron while all the minions are running into Wild space.
And it will take some time to Wild to clear them all. Now the mid lane inhibitor is spawning. In a while, also the bot lane inhibitor will spawn back. And maybe it's just that's the window for Wild. Try to fight their way into Baron, but it will be really, really difficult to do so.
I think they could still
especially with the Guardian Angel into Camille.
That's where I wanted to point. That's why I want to point out that Freezy has been a little slow with his teleports. Maybe it's team communication issue, but he has arrived a little bit later than needed right there. But I've got the Kai'Sa onto the bind right there. Beautiful shockwave is going to land, but who's gonna be going down first? In the end, the Kai'Sa and the Graves is gonna follow up, but they have got the Ryze. Can Trundle get him down? And he is going to be, but on the other side, they have got the virus. That's exactly what Wild needed to get back into the game. While Camille is taking care of their whole base, 2 inhibitors are gonna go straight down again. But that's a 3 for 2 in favor of Wild.
A messy fight, a really messy fight. They overestimated their
Or
damage
has
there.
jumped straight back into whatever Teutons have left in this game. Oriana's gonna be joining the fight. Hexagon
Can Camille clear
gonna
them
go
all?
down onto the jungle. Gonna be disappearing from the face of the earth. Camille is gonna flash onto the Oriana and she is gonna be going down. Double kill for Frisian. Is he gonna be able to get the triple kill? Guardian Angel is gonna be popped. I don't think Ornn can get too far away. The Camille comes up far enough. Let's see if he's gonna be able to get a triple kill. The answer is a no. He prefers to push the wave because both the Brom and the Kai'Sa have spawned.
And that's the same thing we were talking about into the beginning. The more than 2 threats composition, Camille, the team said that okay, we can lose this fight if we secure the 2 big objectives, the 2 inhibitors, and then we can go for the Baron. I think it's nice macro game, although the messy fight.
I wanted to say before this fight broke out that if that wasn't the Kai'Sa that overextended from a team, you really don't want to be face checking Fog of War when there's a bind, a chain of corruption there. I mean, I don't understand the overextension from the Kai'Sa right there. And even though she overextended, you still see the potential of the teamfight that Wild has with this composition. The Ryze can't do anything, Trundle is onto him, Ornn then joins in, the Oriana does insane amounts of damage, she has Death Cap, Void Staff, Morella Nomicon. She has a really good build to be able to destroy every single member of Teuton. She even does a lot of damage to the Camille right now, who is destroying the Nexus Towers, and if Wild has to pull away to save their Nexus Towers, are going to give up their 3rd and last inhibitor of the game, and one of the Nexus Towers, because why not? That's one Camille. Hextech Ultimatum goes down, she's gonna go down with it, and now they want the Ryze. They have got him, and they're gonna kill him as well. Kill goes to Kai'Sa, but that's 3 inhibitors down in favor of TT, and look at that, they do want the Morgana as well. The ultimate is gonna be popped down. But she flashes away. Is she gonna be able to get away? Maybe we have another pillar coming soon. Bjorn jumps straight forward, but the rest of the team is not following. Another miscommunication right there for Wild. And now the rest of the Wild squad has to run back. Beautiful shockwave to delete the Varus right there. And you do see the potential of the Oriana right there. Another bind landing from the Morgana deletes the Trundle as well. And we do have a 1v1 between the Graves and the Kai'Sa. The rest of the team is going to join, and the Graves is gonna go down. I just don't understand the reason why Wild did not chase this hole as a unit. They did not have any super minions running into their base yet. Teutons had just killed their 3rd inhibitor tower, so if there were gonna be any minions running in, they would be a little bit delayed. So get them, get the fight, get some gold into your pockets, and then try to save that one Nexus Tower you have. I think this fight could have been so much more clean, and I will go back to the first point that we made, that the Wild composition is super strong in paper and late game, but the execution is really lacking.
Of course, we haven't seen so far a 5v5 fight, a straight 5v5 fight from the side of Teutons. You see Wild catching members of TT out of position one by one, first killing Camille, overstepping for the turret, then killing Ryze, then starting chasing the others. I think that if TT force a 5v5 fight, it's gonna be really messy for the Wild squad. But
I want you to notice something onto the Kai'Sa build.
the Essence River,
Not the
and
Essence
the Death
River.
Cap?
The Death Cap, exactly. The Ornn boosted Death Cap. And of course the Ornn boosted Death Cap on the Oriana as well.
Double super minions with Baron.
I think Baron is going to...
Just now.
Yeah, it just expired just now. Ornn is gonna be blowing the horn, and he did knock up the power. Can they get him killed though? On the other side, they have got the Kai'Sa, I think, and the Kai'Sa is gonna be pushed away. So far, nobody has died. They need to save that last Nexus Tower they have left. Where are you focusing right now? Well, you need to defend that last inhibitor so no more double super minions are running in, but that's not the case. Look at that TP from Freezy onto the super minion to take Wild's notice right on that minion. They have got him down. He's gonna be going down. Another kill for the Kai'Sa. Can they defend their base? Can they win a fight? Graves is holding them onto the left side while the rest of the TT are onto the bot side. He's gonna go down as well. Double kill for the Kai'Sa. Can't she get any more?
They are stalling, they are trying really hard, and Teutons do not commit into 5v5, they more like focusing into securing the objectives than taking a 5v5 fight. They still respect
here
the
comes
wildcard
another
fight.
horn, and they might be getting the rise. Kai'Sa is literally jumping in and gets no damage from the rise. It's gonna be another kill. Kai'Sa right now is a
Look at the super minions in the top lane.
AD carry for the side of Wild. I'm just so sad that this has been so late. Orianna has to pull back. Remember, she has no teleport on her, and the dragon has been started for the side of Wild. 3 members, 40 seconds for the rise. He's not going to be able to get there, and this is going to be Elder Dragon secured for the side of Wild. I don't know if the Orianna can actually defend against all these
I'm not sure about it.
They're not going to be able to. It's going to be a blind, naked Nexus for Wild.
And remember, Camille can finish the Nexus, Varus can finish the Nexus, Graves can finish the Nexus.
Anyone, I think, except the Rise and the Morgana can literally finish up the Nexus. I think, though, their bot side inhibitor will be coming up very, very soon.
I think so, yes, but Baron is coming also up, and maybe it's the window for Wild.
If I'm right, inhibitor comes up right before the Baron spawns. So what Wild needs to do is push out these waves and get them going before Baron hits. But have got Ornn on the other side. He needs to get away. Enough, though. Trundle is going to be joining, and he does walk out a free man. If Ornn is a man. I'm not sure what he is, but he walks out a free man.
I think that Ornn is something like one of the gods of Olympus, like the fourth god.
True that. Isn't he like the brother of Volibear, if I'm right? I think
not
so.
Like this.
Oh, look at that. There's one inhibitor spawned into the top lane, and Baron spawns in 14 seconds. Graves has already backed, and look at Wild trying to manically push out their waves so they can possibly, maybe...
They will burn it down, they have Rage Blade, they have too much damage.
Freezy is waiting into that bush in the bot lane. He's gonna constantly be pushing that wave, and Wild says, you know what, we fought you before with Baron, we'll fight you again. They know they have the team fighting power, and they're gonna take their chances.
It's too much damage. The time that TT needs to burn down the objective is really low. And Camille is always in the bot lane trying to split. And maybe escort this wave into the fallen inhibitor in the bot lane. There's also the inhibitor in the top lane, and TT need to focus on that. Try to destroy it, bring again the double super minions, but they need to be really careful because the Elder Drake hasn't yet feigned.
It will feign very, very soon. Right of Wild. That was actually their window right there. They could fight with the Elder Dragon, but because they didn't have the 2 inhibitors and minions were running in, going contest, that would be their gold opportunity to fight TT while they have the Elder Dragon up. But now they need to defend that 1 inhibitor they have left, and they have left the Ornn all alone into the bot lane. Remember, there is a butt-naked Nexus sitting right there, and the Camille can literally finish it on her own.
Even banner of command.
Yeah, so where does Wild put their attention? That Nexus could literally go down in 5 seconds with the Varus and the Camille on it. They need to pick a very wise fight and not let the Camille and the Varus get anywhere near that Nexus.
Even the cannon minions can destroy the Nexus now.
Here comes the Ornn Horn. Where are they gonna choose to use it? It's not going to find any target at all, and that's a huge one. And look at that! The Camille had already dived into the back line and finished the game, so it's going to be GG well played for the Teutons, grabbing their first game in this explosive so far, best of 3 versus Wild. We're going into some commercial break, and then we're gonna be right back to break down the game for you.
Get your team apparel now at shop.eslgaming.com.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ESL's Southeast Europe Championship 7. I'm here with Kostas Mesoropoulos to bring you our second game of the first best of 3. But before, of course, we're going to analyze a little bit about what happened in the previous game.
What happened in the previous game was like the Teftons had the complete control of the game and gave Wild the advantage, gave Wild the space. Maybe that sounds better and maybe more correct. Gave them the space to turtle the game out, stall the game enough, win some fights all around the objectives because they were focusing into the objectives and they never fought as a unit. They never fought as 5. And